Well, hello there, YouTube. This is Mr. Gibson Guy. Thanks for stopping by the channel. If you are new here, never been here before, please click like and subscribe and tell your friends about this channel here. I do all kinds of interesting stuff that's interesting to me, and people that watch my channel, they kind of get into whatever I'm doing here. Today I'm bringing you a video on film photography gear. This one in particular has to do with a lens, and this is going to be photography video number 49 for me. So I've done quite a few. I do other stuff on firearms, on motorcycles, on my Ford Maverick pickup truck, and some other subjects. What we're doing right now is I'm panning over my curio cabinet that I keep my gear in. Now you'll notice I said I was talking about a lens today, and so far we've just seen cameras, and that's because I decided I got this lens in, and it was a pretty big lens, and I'm pretty excited about it. And I'm going to do a separate video where I take it out and make some photos with it and everything. But since I just got it, I wanted to do a video of it to begin with, and I want to I haven't shown you all my selection of lenses here in a long time, and I've gotten quite a few of them, as you'll see. I counted, and on the cameras in the case here I have 19 50 millimeters of various f-stops here on those cameras. So those are just 50s in there, and then a few of them just have a lens cover on it. But I'm going to show you those. But down in the, the first row is Olympus and Minolta. The second row down is Nikon. The third row down is Canon and Minolta and some Pentax. And then down below, oh, I just have my legs. Look at that. The bottom shelf, which is, look at, I cleaned out all the dust. That's good. Did a lot of dusting today. The bottom shelf normally is covered with lenses. Down in the basement, that's where we store other stuff, photography books and camera bags and flash units and stuff like that. But you'll notice that it's kind of hard to see down there in that third level down, or fourth level down. And it's down low and it doesn't get much light. So today I brought them all out. Let's see, here we go. Oh boy. Yeah, there we go. There. So these are my auxiliary lenses, as well as all the 50s that go with the cameras. And there's a couple cameras that don't have a 50, and some of these do double duty. Going on a camera body as if they were a 50 millimeter lens. But I've separated them all out here so you can see all the non-50 lenses. And so we don't get too confused here, I have lenses here from 5 different manufacturers, just like I have 5 different manufacturer cameras on the display here. And I'm going to kind of go through these. Turn this over. You want to look down at these here. All right, so right here in the corner, these are Olympus ZUIKO lenses. The first one is a 28 millimeter f2.8. Behind it is a 35 millimeter f2.8. Next to that, is the one and only Pentax that snuck in there. That's a 35 millimeter f2. There's a story to that lens too. That's a pretty cool one. And then over here we have another chrome nose ZUIKO. This is a 24 millimeter f2.8. And next to this we have a 28 millimeter f3.5, another chrome nose. So I got 2 28s in ZUIKOs. It worked out that way. I got one and then I got another one. But we got one more ZUIKO, and this is the Olympus ZUIKO 35 to 70 f4 zoom. The 35 to 70s are kind of common in here. Next to the 35 to 70 is another 35.70 at 3.5, and this is a Minolta MD lens. And in front of that, this is a thorium lens. This is the ROKKOR X SIMC 28mm f2.5, and that sets off the Geiger counter right there. And then this one, another MCW ROKKOR X, which should do the same thing, but it doesn't because it doesn't have thorium, is a 35mm f2.8. I picked that up recently. And this one, I didn't really need it, but it was like in perfect condition and really inexpensive. This is the Minolta MC ROKKOR, what do they call it? A QD. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. This is a 135mm f3.5. All right, so that's it for the ROKKORs. And let me go over here now. Go to the long NIKKORs. This is the NIKKOR AIS 135mm f2.8. Next to it is the ubiquitous NIKKOR 200mm f4. And the star of the day, this just came to me. This is I'm pretty excited about this. I've tried it out outside, but I haven't used it for anything yet. This is the NIKKOR, not AI, not AIS, because this is the reflex mirror lens, 500mm fixed f-stop of f8. So it only has one aperture because they don't put a what do you call it, the aperture blades in this. It doesn't stop down, and it doesn't have to, but it just has one aperture, and it'll shoot from really far away and bring stuff really up close. It's beautiful view through the viewfinder on this thing. It's a really amazing lens. Can't wait to see how the pictures turn out. Next to it, I have my the famous old NIKKOR 80 to 200 f4.5 zoom. This was their zoom that got pros to use zoom lenses. Not too much use for zooms these days, except for movies, I guess. All right, and then we're going to move over to Canon. This is a lens that I got that I've been real proud of. I bought a camera to turn around and sell, and it came with this 200mm f2.8. Great lens. And I swapped it out with a 50mm f1.8 and sold the camera instantly, and I've still got the lens because that's what I wanted to do. And I've got quite a few of these lenses because they came with some camera that I bought and sold. That's why I do buying and selling instead of just collecting. This one came with another camera, and it will go out with another camera if that camera ever sells. Also a Canon AE1. No, Canon A1 this one is. And it comes with an auto winder and this Vivitar 28 to 210. That's got a range on it. In front of that one here, oh, you know what? I'm going to go to the side here first. Next to it, oh, well, either way, it's the same thing. All right, I go back to this one. This one is kind of an unusual, and this is a Tamron 35 to 105 f2.8 zoom. It's kind of an unusual lens and very fast for a zoom lens with a fixed f2.8 aperture. Usually it would come in as part of it. And we're in the middle of the Tamrons here. Back over here, this is another Tamron. This is the 35 to 135, and it's a variable aperture f3.5 to f4.5. That's another one that came with a package of some stuff, and some of the stuff I have, the rest of it I'm selling. Next to it, this is a 75 to 210, I believe it is. Another Tamron zoom, and that one comes with a case. And then over here we go lapse into Canons here. All right, and Canon, all right, some long Canons and then some short Canons. This is the 70 to 150 f4.5 zoom, and I picked that up for like 15 bucks or something. It's not a bad zoom. It's kind of slow and not much range on it, but it is a Canon FD lens. And then this one is, I'm pretty excited about this. One of the early ones that I got where I bought a camera and it came with another lens, and it came with this lens too, which is in pieces and it's been in the bag ever since. But back to here. This one is the Canon 100 millimeter. It's long, but 100 millimeter f4 macro lens. And when I got it, I just got the lens from Goodwill Finds, and then about a year later, Goodwill Finds throws up a new advertisement for some sort of a Canon lens. They don't know what it is, and it is the extension tube that this lens came with originally. So I bought the lens back, and then a year later I bought the extension tube back, and the camera is back with its original extension tube from long ago. So that was a happy ending to that story. And boy, this thing is really sharp. I don't play with it too often, but when I take that out, just go around the yard and look at close-ups of little tiny flowers, this lens is amazing with what it can do. I've been meaning to put some film in one of my Canon cameras and go out and use it. And I'll pop to this one. This was the lens that got me back into photography when I found this. This is a Tamron 300 millimeter f2.8. Yeah, there's the gold label on it. It's an LD lens. So this was what I had always dreamed I would one day own, and I'd be a serious photographer, but I didn't really wonder if I would ever buy one because they're so expensive. And I ended up getting this for like $200 from KEH, I believe it was. And boy, this is some lens. I really love it. It came without its lens shade, and about a year later I found online somebody who was selling the lens shade to it. So this is the lens shade that goes on it. Like that, it drops down and twists on, but you get the idea. So that's got that. I don't have the lens cap for it yet. I gotta find one of those. It's like a 113 millimeter diameter lens cap. Pretty unusual. Most of these won't fit on it. Okay, so let's finish off what we got here in the introduction to the lenses. In front of these Canons and Tamrons, I have some more Canons. See here. All right. This is the 28 millimeter f2.8, and next to it is a 28 millimeter 35 millimeter f2.8. So they're Bobsy twins there, the 28 and the 35, the usual wide angles. And then I got another NIKKOR. This is a NIKKOR this time, but another 35 to 70 zoom. That makes 3 of them. Yeah, I have the Olympus, the Minolta, and a NIKKOR. This one's kind of weird because the other ones are very long for their size, and this one is just barely longer than a 50 millimeter. It's like a real short 35 to 70. Oh, and it said f3.3 to f4.5 too, so it's a variable aperture. Those other ones are fixed aperture, I think. All right, and this was the only lens that I have ever bought new. And I bought this at a camera store in Savannah, Georgia, when the manual focus NIKKORs were going on sale because everybody thought they were going to all autofocus. And this is an 85 millimeter f2, no point, just f2. And it is an amazing portrait lens, and I've done some great work with it. Right catty corner to it is its stablemate. I didn't buy this one new, but it was the other NIKKOR lens that I bought when I first started with Nikons. And this is a 35 millimeter f2, so they're kind of good stablemates, both being f2s and being kind of the outside of the 50 millimeter range, but just close by. Over here next to this is a NIKKOR 24 millimeter f2.8, And on the other side, whoa, went too far here. This is the 24 millimeter f2.8, and this one is the 28 millimeter f2.8, and that's almost all I have. This last one, this is another Tamron, and this is I picked this up because, you know, Tamron lenses take the Adaptol mount. I meant to do a pitch for that when I first started with the Tamrons, but you get an Adaptol 2 mount and you can mount it to a Canon or to a Nikon or a Minolta or a Pentax or a Yashica, or, you know, whatever camera you want to get the Adaptol adapters for it. And this was my first wide angle when I got back into photography that I could use for whichever cameras, because when I got this thing I decided, oh, since it's this Tamron, I'm going to start getting Tamron lenses, and I can buy any camera, because when I was doing the Minolta, the Nikons, I was just buying NIKKOR lenses because I was just buying stuff to go to my camera, and there was all these other cool lenses, but they weren't of any use to me because I didn't have cameras for them. Now I have cameras for all of them, and that's because of Tamron. So that made me broaden my range as to what I would have for lenses, because I can have any of them now. Alright, so that's the lens video. You can see this is quite a pile of them, and I'm going to have to rearrange them somewhat because I don't know how it's going to fit in here. But it should be interesting. I cleaned all the dust out, and it's a nice place for them to go, where if I keep it closed they won't get very dusty. And this is a barefoot video that I've been making here. So, Mr. Gibson Guy, thank you for coming to visit, and drop me a line, tell me what you think, what lenses you're looking for and you want to get, and maybe you should get a curio cabinet too and fill it up with stuff, because there's no end to all the cool things you can put in here at really crazy reasonable prices these days. They haven't gone wild yet. They're starting to climb, I think, but this is a good time to buy stuff. All right, until next time, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later. This is Mr. Gibson Guy, and I'm out of here.